All right. So this week, now that more people are here, we will be going over the topic angles, so everybody knows how angles work. So the learning goals are that I can identify different types of angles and that I can identify different angle pairs. So just for fun, does anybody know what is the largest ocean in the world?
Plus, question of what is the largest ocean of the world? So then,
All right. Should I give the answer?
I think I know. Then the largest ocean, পৃথিবীর maybe we're not hearing them touch. তোমালোকৰ অডিওটো খুব কম হৈ আছে দেই অডিওটো অলপ ডাঙৰ কৰিব লাগিব আমি শুনি পোৱা নাই আনসাৰটো জানে নে পলাশ ষ্টুডেন্টছে
জানে আনসারটো কোৱা নাই আনসারটো জানে কোৱা নাই কিন্তু
Okay, Taj, you can go ahead.
Okay. The answer is the Pacific Ocean. So, we already reviewed two-step equations last class, so we will skip that for now. And now we will go over the definition of an angle. So an angle is a figure when joined by two lines or rays that share a common endpoint. The smallest an angle can be is 1 degrees, and the biggest an angle can be is 360 degrees. And angles can be represented by letters, with the middle one being the meeting point. So if you look to the right here, this angle is ABC or angle CBA. So this is the core definition of an angle. And now the types of angles. An angle that is a corner, like a square or rectangle, is 90 degrees. If an angle is larger than 90 degrees, it is called an obtuse angle. And if it is less than 90 degrees, it is called an acute angle. So here we can see in the middle, this is a right angle because it is 90 degrees. And then if we just make the line smaller, the angle smaller, that's acute. If we make it larger than 90, that's obtuse. So this is the first learning check. So just write 1 through 5 on your paper and write if it is either an obtuse, right, or acute angle.
সিহঁতক লিখিব দিয়া দেই 2 3 4 5 তোমালোকে ঠিকই শুনিছা নহয় They may have dropped.
Okay. So, to what point did they hear?
You can repeat the question. You can start from here. Palash, তোমাকে কি মিস করলা নাকি? Types of angles? And then ask them the question.
Okay. So here we can see this angle is a right angle, and that is 90 degrees. And if it is less than 90 degrees, that is an acute angle on the right. But if it is more than 90 degrees, it is an obtuse angle on the left. Now, on a sheet of paper or textbook, write down 1 through 5 and say if these angles are either right, obtuse, or acute.
চবে শুনি আছা নহয় এই চেকটো কৰা এই আনসাৰ কেইটা দিয়া what is number 2 3 4 and 5 yeah the connection is bad they're dropping again so we may have to just not ask questions but go to the next ones they're back.
Are they back?
They're dropping back and forth.
So the first one is an obtuse angle or a straight angle because it is 180 and that is a straight line. The second one is an obtuse angle. Now, the reason it is an obtuse angle is because we can see it is clearly larger than 90 degrees. The third one is an acute angle because it is less than 90 degrees. The fourth one is obviously 90 degrees. And then the fifth one is obtuse because it is greater than 90 degrees. Next, moving on to supplementary versus complementary. So two angles that add up to 180 degrees are called supplementary angles, and two angles that degrees add up to 90 degrees are called complementary angles. So we can see on the left, C plus D is equal to 180, so those two angles, C and D, are supplementary. And then on the right, A plus B added up is equal to 90, so angles A and angles B must be complementary as well. So these are some practice problems. So it's identify which angles should match to add up to be either supplementary or complementary. And then after identifying the two angles, write S or C to identify the correct pair. So are people able to write stuff down or no?
লিখিব পাৰিব নে তাজে দেখুৱাই দিব তা since we have the internet is having issues maybe you should just work it this time okay why don't you just show it for the sake of time.
So the first one we see is 31. So we either want this to add up to 180 or 90 degrees. Now to add up to 180, it would have to be 149 degrees, and to add up to 90, it would have to be 59 degrees. Now we only have one thing, so that is 149 degrees, and it is supplementary. Now the next one, 42 degrees, if it was to be supplementary, it would have to be 138, but if it was complementary, it would have to be 48 degrees. So it looks like it'll be 48 degrees in complementary. Next, 56 degrees, it'll either have to add 124 to make it supplementary or 34 to make it complementary. And 34 is the correct answer, with it being complementary. And now only two answers are left. For 67 to become supplementary, it would need 113, and that is obviously the answer, so it is supplementary. And then 111 is greater than 90 degrees, so it has to be supplementary. And 69 plus 111 equals 180. One is saying angle D and angle E are supplementary, and angle D is 112 degrees. and they're asking us to find angle E. So if we know that they're supplementary angles, we know that they have to add up to 180. So if angle D is 112, all we need to do is 180 minus 112 and see that that's 68. So the measure of angle E is 68. Next one, F and G are complementary. If angle F is 34, find angle G. Now we know that complementary angles have to add up to 90 degrees. So if we do 90 degrees minus 34 degrees, we can see that angle G has to be 56 degrees. Then the next one, two complementary angles are equal. Find the measure of each. So if we know that the complementary is 90 degrees and both sides are equal, all we have to do is divide 90 by 2 and get 45 degrees for each angle. Then they're saying one angle is 3 times its complement angle. Find both angles. So what they're asking us now is we have a complementary angle and that one of these angles are 3 times bigger than the other angle. So what we'd have to do is we can make it that each angle is worth a different value of x. Like one angle is worth x and the other one is worth 3x. Now, if this is a complementary angle, we can just do 90 divided by x plus 3x, 4x, and then we can get it to be 22.5 degrees. 22.5 degrees for x. Now, what this means is that 22.5 degrees is one of the angles, and the other angle is 67.5 degrees. Now, the last exit ticket question is saying one angle is 18 more than its supplement angle, and they're saying to find both angles. So if we know that the two angles add up to 180, and we want to find something that is 18 more, all we'd have to do is add 18 divided by 2 to one angle, and then subtract 18 divided by 2 from the other. So this is, if we have 90 degrees and we add 9, now we have 99 degrees. And then if we do 180 minus 90, we have 81. So the two angles for the fifth one are 99 degrees and 81 degrees. And that is it for week 8.
Slide. You can turn on your camera. And there was a slide where they missed it. The one slide before the exit, you can just go over since they are here. Let's go over that quickly. Not one before. Yeah. Yeah.
This one is saying identify which two angles add up to be supplementary and complementary. So as we can see here, they are given the matches and we are showing if it is supplementary or complementary. And then to understand why, all you have to do is add up the angles on the left to the corresponding angle on the right. And if they're equal to 90, they're complementary or a C. And if they're equal to 180, they're supplementary or an S.
And the one before, can you just go back one before? It is just a recap we are doing, okay? Since some of them missed it. The definition page, yeah.
And then just to review, supplementary angles are two angles that add up to 180 degrees, and complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees.
That you can come out with your video up. No. So two types of angles, right? That just do the definition. You can just do talk instead of showing.
Okay. So if we have an angle like this is a 90-degree angle. And then if we have a line that goes through, this is a new angle, and this is a new angle. This can be angle A, this can be angle B. So this means angle A plus angle B is 90 degrees. And this is complementary. Now, if we have 180 degrees, or a straight angle, and we split it,
Yeah, go ahead.
the guy left,
It's okay. Continue. We can send the video.
and we split it into two angles. This can be angle C, this can be angle D, and then if we add these angles up, so angle C plus angle D, we get 180 degrees, and this is supplementary. And then the only other important thing is this is 90 degrees, right angle.
As your screen is not visible.
Can you see the whiteboard?
Let me. Whiteboard খন দেখিছা ন? White লিখি লিখি কৰি আছে. Do the video thing instead of the screen. You're still sharing, but because yeah, they're gone. Yeah, maybe the main one, the main page. Once they're back, we'll just show the definitions, and it should wrap up. Okay. Yeah, just show the main definition page.
Okay.
We'll just recap with that.
Then, if the angle is less than 90 degrees, it is an acute angle. Acute. And if it is more than 90 degrees, if it is more than 90 degrees, it is an obtuse angle.
Not able to write it down. I'm just writing it. You can probably go back to the first page, okay? Since they're here.
Okay, it's saying that they're unable to see the whiteboard.
Yeah. So why don't let's switch off the whiteboard and go to your normal slides, okay? And then we can wrap it up for today, and we'll send out the notes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. You send the whiteboard, so that is good. You can bring your video up for some time.
Okay. So, just to recap, there are three types of angles: obtuse, right, acute, and then there are also straight angles, which are just 180 degrees. So this is probably one of the most important things to remember from this chapter. obtuse, right, and acute angles. Right angles are 90 degrees, obtuse are more, and acute are less. And then the next important thing to remember is supplementary versus complementary. Supplementary angles added up equal 180 degrees, and complementary angles added up equal 90 degrees. So that is it for this lesson.
Yeah, we can come back. You can get your video on and we'll quickly. So Palash, Taj will send the video and the notes, and then সিহঁতে এইখিনি পঢ়ি ল'ব পাৰে, and then we can again revisit next week, okay? Yeah.
Okay.
If you want
Okay, ma'am.
students to turn on, students to camera to turn on কৰিব পাৰা, মই just, and then we can, next week সেই কৰিব পাৰো. মই তোমাক I'll call you to give an update.
Okay, ma'am.
Bye.
Yeah, I think they're coming here. Let's see them. Yeah, there was. I think it'll be easier to. Yeah, this is there. Okay. Okay. Good night. I'll call you, Palash.
Okay, ma'am.